wrote them down the same thing probably 50 times. And then you guys wonder why we have to take the same notes over. I've heard this already. Well, yeah, but you don't ever remember what you're writing down unless you've written it down like 10 to 20 times, right? So that's why when we write notes, that's why we do it. I was just going to say, like, it's pretty interesting that, like, I would say probably 99% of people on this earth will die without ever having control of their mind. Without ever having control of their mind, their emotions, because they let everybody else control it. And I know that sounds kind of deep, dark, and depressing, but the one thing that's given to us when we're alive that we are able to control, we don't take advantage of actually taking the time to do it. So with that said, make sure you guys stay focused with what I'm going to present to you guys today. I took a little time. You know, I'm getting better at the PowerPoint. I did take a little time to put together some thoughts and some ideas here. And I think it's time to go to basics. We did the CEO plan for the rest of the year and how to get there. And so you might be thinking, well, it starts with 3, right? It starts with getting your 3 directs the first month. But what do you do when you get your 3 directs? Well, you got to go out and field train and get on appointments as well, because you got to get in front of more people. And I think sometimes we overthink what we need to do. So I put together the 3-step sales process. 3-step sales process. This might be a review for some of you guys, but for some of you guys, it's brand new, right? And it's so cool because it's very, very simplified, and it gives you each step. So let me pull that up. Hopefully Armando gave me the... Armando, did you give me the... Yeah, you did. Thank you. Can you guys see this here? Let's see here. Can I get a thumbs up from you guys if you guys can see? Okay. I actually have, this PowerPoint's got 3 presentations on it, so I'm going to skip to the one I want to go to. And if I have enough time, I'll do all 3, but I want to do at least 2. Let's see here. Okay. 3-step sales process. Here we go. Oh, you recognize that guy there? Yeah. That's Mr. Vin Diesel from The Boiler Room. It's one of my favorite movies. I have a picture on all 3 slides of my 3 favorite movies to kind of subliminally tell you guys to go watch these movies because they're awesome. Anyways, so step 1, the 5 C's. Okay. Number 1, the first C is connection. Can someone volunteer? I'm going to pick on somebody because I know if I say, well, someone volunteer, we'll sit here for like 3 minutes before someone will volunteer. So I'm going to pick on somebody. And just because you're on my screen, Patty, it says Patricia Garcia, but just because you're on my screen, what does FORM stand for? Unmute yourself, if you can. There we go.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, we're good.
FORM, I knew this.
It's okay. Give me
2 weeks ago when we went over it, and I had it on a sheet of paper, and I guess it threw it away, cleaning up.
That's okay. We're all family here. Even if you get it wrong, it's okay.
Oh. I wrote it somewhere.
I just gave you a supreme hint right now.
What did you say?
I said we're all family here.
Family, occupation, recreation, message.
Yes. Boom.
Thanks, Miss Ruth.
You got it. Boom.
It was Ruth. It was all Ruth. Thank you, Ruth, for not letting me choke. I'm always called first.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes you gotta build that thick skin. See, this is the reason why I'm doing this. I don't want to go through and recite a PowerPoint to you guys because you know we do that enough.
Hey, do that one more time.
What's that?
Do it one more time.
Okay.
Family, occupation,
recreation, and message. Message or mission. Family, occupation, recreation, message, or mission. Recreation just basically means what do I like to do for fun. So, for instance, when you're sitting down, this is probably the most overlooked part of the entire sales process, if I had to be quite honest with you. People go right past the connection because they're only focused on the sale. And if you see to the right, you see the goal, right? The very first thing that says make a friend. So I want you guys to do yourself a favor. When you guys go on an appointment, the first thing you guys should be doing is thinking about making a friend. I mean, to be quite honest with you, that's the first thing you guys should start thinking about. You shouldn't say like, this person looks like they're about 1,000 in premium today. You go into an appointment like that, let me tell you something, you're probably not going to close, okay? So every single time you go into an appointment, relax, take a couple of deep breaths, and just see, you know what? All I'm doing today is making a friend. That's all I'm doing. So if you go in like that, it becomes much easier. So family, go ahead.
Quick question.
Yes.
Would you say to some degree, maybe more brief, that you do that with every appointment, even follow-ups? It's maybe not even a KTP. You've sat with them before.
Yeah, I do. I do, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
For instance, let me give you an example. On the recreation, I'm a big sports guy, right? I love Bay Area sports, okay? Don't particularly like living in the Bay Area at this particular moment, but I like the Bay Area sports, right? So I'm a 49er and Golden State Warrior fan. So like one of the first things I'll see, and I'll kind of scope out the back of the room if I see some, some sports stuff, and I'll be like, hey, you Bay Area sports fan? Yeah, my favorite team is the 49ers. Okay, great, yeah, and we start talking about that. Out there in Dallas is probably the Cowboys, because you guys are all Cowboy fans out there, right? Whatever the case may be, take whatever you got. It doesn't matter. Guess what? If I'm on an appointment, I'm all of a sudden a Cowboy fan.
We don't want you, man.
No.
We don't want you.
Money's green. Exactly. And then when I get off, they can't control what I watch after. I'm not going to watch them, right? So just make a friend. But my point with this is, and to your point, Kayla, when I do the follow-up, I'll say, did you see that Niner game that last week? I cannot believe Kyle Shanahan left that quarterback Nick Mullins in there to throw that interception against the Cowboys. We would have won that game. Yeah, man, I can't believe it. And I just kind of go, because that way I want them to know that I actually listened to them on their first one. I wasn't just going through the motions. You don't want to look like you're just going through the motions of doing it. And so to prevent that, when you are making a connection, there's another tip I'm going to give you, is each one of these, you go 3 questions deep. At least 3 questions deep on each one. So for instance, family, you ask 3 questions about their family. Or just tell me about your family. Ask 3 questions about their job. Ask 3 questions about what they like to do for fun, hobbies. So, and then you want to talk about your mission or your message of the reason why you came into business. This is super important. Don't forget the mission or and because guess what? That's going to lead to this next one. The next one is the C, stands for crusade. The C stands for crusade. You know what? You got to have a powerful crusade, and you got to really believe in your crusade. And I'm going to use Rebecca as an example on this. She has an awesome crusade. She wants to eradicate divorce, and she wants love to prevail. That's a powerful thing. Usually it's, someone's crusade is, I want to make sure people don't go through financial stress, and that's fine too, if that's what it is. But when I talk to Rebecca, I really feel that's really what it is. So if something is not truly your crusade or mission, don't just say it just to say it. Find out what it really, really is. And if you don't have that yet, that could be one of the reasons why you haven't been closing or recruiting. Because people will follow people that actually are genuine and actually have a reason why they're doing something, right? So make sure you have your crusade, your credibility. I don't think we give ourselves enough credit. And to be quite honest, if you're in your own warm market, it's hard to have credibility, okay? You have their trust, but you don't necessarily have their credibility, okay? Now, what do I mean by that? I have a lot of friends. It took me a long time for me to gain some credibility with some of them. Like, they were willing to help me out, which is the reason why I took Armando on the appointments, right? Because he had the credibility. He had the wealth management. He had all of that. I just recently had coffee with one of my friends I was calling on my, quick story. I was calling on my top 100 list. I was so mechanical on the Ethor script. I was like, hi, I'm excited. I value your opinion. I'm in training. Can you help me? Like, I was like literally like RTD2, I was like, that's how I was. I made the call and he goes, man, what script are you reading from? And this guy's a real estate agent, right? And he used to be my roommate. Actually he tried to recruit me into real estate. Long story short, we went out to coffee today. I found out his office is across the streets from Pete's, which is next door to me. And now he's like, hey, man, you know what you're talking about. What books have you read? I started naming Napoleon Hill and Dale Carnegie. He's like, wow. He's like, your securities. He started going through all these things. He's like, how long have you been in business? 5 years. So now my credibility is there.
Junie.
Does that make sense? My credibility is there now. When you first start, your credibility is not there right away. Leverage people with credibility. If you're unmuted, can you mute? Or Armando, can you mute? Hold on one second, guys. Oh man, hold on, I gotta go back. It's not letting me go back.
Yell his name real loud.
There we go. Here we go. Okay, we're good. Okay, and then the fourth C is for your concepts. You need to know the concepts. You need to know the concepts. 3 rules of money. You need to know the 3 rules of money. That should be the very first thing that you learn when you're trying to, because you're going to use the rules of money, whether you do a one-on-one, KTP, you're going to use it in every single presentation that you, if you get called to do the BPM, guess what you need to know? The rules of money. KTP, rules of money. Recruiting interview, rules of money. So learn those concepts. Those are very important. And the last thing is the close. You got to know how to close. If you're having problems closing, take a closer out with you. Because I'm going to tell you, there's nothing, you're going to get better the more you do it, but you're not going to get better unless you start learning how to do it in actual field training appointment. Because I don't know if you noticed, but the role playing is great because it gets you used to doing it. But Nate, you ever go into role playing, you're like, God, I'm messing up because people are looking at me. You know, you're doing that. But then you go to actually do it, and then you're like, shoot, I just messed up again because I don't know what to do because I haven't been enough role playing. You know, you got to know how to close. And if you don't know how to close, you need to role play, but you also need to go out on actual live field training appointments. So if you haven't done enough of those,